All right, we are live. We are live. You're about to hear the fish tank and probably a rabbit in the background digging through something. But hey, I'm going to make this one short, sweet, to the point. We're at the end of all 10 days of the World Championships that were hosted in the United States, here in the United States, in Eugene, Oregon. Wow, it was a good way to end it off. It was another crazy day. It's another crazy day. This shows you that the United States can host the World Championships, but that should be without question because the United States has already hosted the Olympics. But I guess it was a question because since the last time the USA hosted anything, I think they did the indoor World Championships or maybe some youth or something like that. There was something here that was hosted for track and field, but since the last time the United States hosted anything, it has been a question mark because of the popularity of track and field here. But they picked the correct spot because obviously Oregon was filled up to the brim on many of those days. But as always, I'm your host, Nick, and you're watching Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes, performances, and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. Always, as always, stay blessed, be rich, and we're going to be pushing to be number one in this coverage and building people up overall. So today, let's get straight to it. Here's the 35-kilometer race walk. They shortened it from the 50K. I'm just going to go over the top three. We got Karlstrom of Sweden in third. Personal best there. We got Kawano area record. Obviously, I think just because this may be the first time they're doing it, it's a lot of these athletes, these race walkers with national records and personal best. Congratulations to all of them, but I'm just going to keep it moving. That's from Japan. And our 35-kilometer race walk men champion with a championship record, 23:14 as the first time hosting it here at the World Championships, Massimo Stano from Italy. Now going over to the pole vault. Duplantis is just racking up money every time he just goes over. Pole vault, these field events, especially the vertical jumps, it's or is that horizontal? Now I'm starting to mix them up. I believe vertical jump. It's easier for them to hold back a little bit. I would say even in the pole vault, because you see it more in the pole vault. You've seen it more in the pole vault than it is with a high jump. Because pole vault, you can change the pole, all types of things with that you don't have as much of an advantage in high jump. But new world record, 6.21 meters. Armin Duplantis has now surpassed Sergei Bubka for the most 6-meter plus vaults in the history of the sport. Then we got Chris Nielsen, which was the defending champion, but now he's silver medalist, 5.94 meters from the United States. Congratulations to him. Then we got Ernest John Obieno from the Philippines with a surprise bronze medal here with an area record. So that'll be an Asian record overall, as well as a Philippine record, 5.94. And he got third on the countback. So congratulations to him. Moving over to the next event, long jump women. Mahambo just knows how to do it clutch. She almost didn't make it out of the first three jumps, then clutched it at about 7. And then she just extended her lead there. I thought Brume was going to take this. She was in the lead since the second jump, then led it all the way up until about the 5th round. And then Mahambo last 2 jumps just went farther and farther. Malika Mahambo from Germany, 7.12 meters with that jump. Then we got S.A. Brume of Nigeria in second, 7.02, season best for both of them. And then we got Leticia Oro Melo from Brazil, a personal best, 6.89. Congratulations to those ladies. A little bit disappointed that Quenisha Burks could not get that. Tiffany Flynn was all the way out of it in last in this final round. And then Burks, I was actually surprised, but she only got pipped out by 1 centimeter. That's unfortunate. And she had the wind against her. If you look at the wind reading, but you can't see, it was a negative 0.2 with a positive 1.1. Like most of these jumps, these top 3, they were positive 1 to 1.1. and this was basically flat for Burks. Just unfortunate she didn't have the win in her favor. Now, we got the 5,000 that was set up for Jakob Ingebrigtsen to win, and that's what he did. He won. He came out. He won. He conquered. They made it slow for him. They tried to take it out. Chep, the guy, tried to take it out quicker. Then he tried to have somebody else take the lead. The Kenyans start looking at each other like, hey, are you going to take the lead? They made it nice and slow enough for him. I think if they would have went sub 13 minutes or a little bit faster for the pace that some of these athletes could have gone, then Ingebrigtsen would have had a much harder time. But when they slowed that thing down for him, because I think his personal best is 13:05 or something, somewhere around this realm, it's within his wheelhouse. Then they set it up for him. He was pumping up the crowd, or trying to. I don't know if they really responded to him like that, but especially since USA is not his host nation, it seemed like they got quieter when he tried to pump the crowd up. Didn't quite work, but got water, got himself there, took the gold after he said he was embarrassed and ashamed of getting the silver in the 1500, while also trash talking the winner, saying, oh yeah, he knew he couldn't beat me. I'm like, yeah, that's some weird energy you're putting out there. But Jakob Ingebrigtsen the gold, 13:09.24 for Norway. Second is Jacob Krop, 13:09.98 for Kenya. Uganda's Oscar Chilimo, 13:10.2. Congratulations to these gentlemen. Going over to the decathlon, let's go over here. Overall, France, Kevin Mayer of France, 8,816 points with the win. Canada's Pierce LePage, 87.01, and then Zachary Zymek, he kept his bronze medal, 86.76. New national record for Puerto Rico, Aiden Owens Delerme, 85.32. But congratulations to these gentlemen here. Unfortunately, Warner from Canada was all out of it when he pulled up in the decathlon 400. Damian Warner, he was in the lead, and then he pulled up yesterday, and that took him straight out of it. Now, unfortunately, this time wasn't legal, but let's go over to the semifinal. Could we go over to the semifinal for the women's 100 hurdles world record? I am glad personally. Everybody knows that has been a subscriber here since at least last year that I've been pulling for Toby Amusan to be able to at least get a medal, if not win the whole thing. Now, I'll still have the inherent bias that I want the United States to win. I'm here more so looking as a neutral perspective on a lot of things. If I gotta be honest, if I'm covering these things, I'm just like, hey, look, hey, whatever nations, I want to see athletes do well. I know some people are feeling like, hey, USA don't win, it's a whole total failure. And I'm over here like, I like to see good athletes, especially if I know they can do something. Like I saw Amusan before, I knew she could do something, and she finally was able to get it through. Huge drop from 12.4 down to 12.12, to the point that Michael Johnson was saying that the clocks were broken, they weren't working, and yeah, it was all types of crazy, some lunacy that was there. Matter of fact, let's pull this one up really quick, if we will. Let's pull this one up. I wonder, is his tweet still up? Let's see. So yeah, he said, I don't believe the 100 hurdle times are correct. World record broken by 0.08. 12 personal best set, 5 national records set. And Cindy Simber, quote, after her personal best national record, quote, I was running slow. I think he means I thought I was running slow, to quote her. All athletes look shocked. And then he continued to say, Heat 2, we were first showing winning time of 12.53. Few seconds later, it shows 12.43. Rounded down by 0.01 is normal, not 0.10 is not. That's very, very interesting, because I think he forgot when a special former world record holder, Kenny Harrison, broke the world record. Didn't the clock show? Y'all go back to 2016 on Kenny Harrison. Didn't the clock show like 12:56? I know it was like 12:05 something. Then the next thing we know, it's 12.2. So the clock initially said 12:05 something, especially in the shorter races, the 100 hurdles, 110, those times can sometimes vary widely. Remember Dina Asher-Smith last year at the British Nationals? She thought she had run a 10.7 and she was just like, yeah. And then she said in an interview afterwards she didn't feel like she was going that hard. But then it got rounded up to a 10.97. She thought she ran a 10.73 or something. Then it went up to 10.97. There are plenty of times that the clocks are rounded up, they're rounded down. It's just Michael Johnson, chill out on this one. I actually replied to him in a tweet on my NFT page. I was like, this is a very interesting way for an old man to say, quote, that's a fast track, without saying it directly. And then he said, the level of dumbassery coming across my feed right now is truly staggering. So I guess he was calling all of us dumbasses for believing the time, or is he calling the clock people, the people working the clock? I might know the person. Matter of fact, I'm gonna call him up in a couple of days and ask him, did he time this? Because he, like I said, he timed one of Christian Coleman's world records. So I'll call him up and say, hey, did you time this meet? And if I know him very well, he would not take lightly to this. He will blow a gasket for somebody saying this. And he'll blow a gasket. Shout out to everybody that's here. Shout out to everybody that's here. I am reading the comments here. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Michael Johnson here, but I had to bring this one up because it was very, very interesting that he said that. But congratulations to Toby Amosan with this world record, 12.12. I called the winning time within one hundredth of a second. But yeah, he said they weren't questioning 1988. Yeah, I don't see how he didn't question. Let's see, London 2012 in the men's 800 with all those personal bests. That was the fastest 800 in history. Got national records, world youth records, world record, all types of things there. You can go to so many times where they do that. Now, the reason why this is, quote, so many, where he was saying like 12 or whatever, most of those people got those times, is because it's a semi and everybody was cooking on this one. I don't know what to say. Fast track, everybody's ready, but just to throw it even more, well, here we go, a 12.06. So then I tweeted him, I was like, you ready to quit yet? But then, of course, the win wasn't legal. But I don't know. I've seen illegal wins like this before, and the times still weren't this fast. So Camacho Quinn looked shook before the race started. Camacho Quinn looked shook in the semis. When she saw that time, she was like, oh my goodness. She looked shook the entire freaking day. She was not ready. She was not ready for this one. But very, very interesting. They said Johnston has to accept the time. L plus Coke. He said Michael Johnson deserves a pass, though. Yeah, I'll give him a pass. That's why I'm not really roasting him too much. I just called him an old man. But yeah, I'm not gonna go any harder on him than that, because he is a legend in his own right and everything like that. But I will say that he's wrong. I didn't feel good saying that. I didn't feel good saying it. But I will say that he's wrong, because if he was somebody else, I probably would have called him a dumbass back and stuff like that. But you know, all of us get the things wrong, but he's got the room to be wrong on whatever. But I just can't see that these times are not correct. I can't see the times are not correct. And if they aren't correct, I'll just say it this way. If they are not correct, if USATF comes out and says they're correct, you know how embarrassing this would be? It's kind of like, if they're incorrect at this point, because it's a world championship, they better zip their mouth and never reveal that stuff. They shouldn't even tell a single other soul. They shouldn't tell a single other soul if it is. Man, that's their head. If it's not correct, they're fired, and whoever that is not working for USATF ever again. You can't mess up a championship race like this. But we'll see in a few days when people try to double check that with their technology. Toby Amusan with the win, 12.06, but the win was illegal. It was over the legal limit by 0.5. So it's 2.5 tail win right here, as you can see. Brittany Anderson for Jamaica in second, 12.23. Congratulations to her. Jasmine Camacho Quinn, third place, 12.23. Unfortunately, Kenny Harrison, again, kind of messing up here. She messed up on the first hurdle. That was it right there. She messed up on the first hurdle. She touched it. She tapped the second one. And then she was over the couple of middle ones. And then it was like her steps were off. And then she just crashed out, essentially. Not completely, but she crashed out. And it just wasn't there. Cindy Simber, she was like, hey, what can you do? Set national record. I wanted to get some hardware, but I didn't. Danielle Williams just was out of it as well. Devin Charlton. Okay. All right, Rabbit. You're getting a little bit too loud and rambunctious back there. Chill out. And then Aaliyah Armstrong just out of the medals. I gotta say I am quite disappointed here a little bit from a if I look here from a perspective about Kenny Harrison and just USA not getting a medal in this. This is something USA should be able to get a medal in. Okay, Toby Amusan was really ready here. Amusan is usually inconsistent too, because in years past, I thought she would get a medal, and I was like, man, this would be kind of, it's like you look kind of silly or goofy if you don't get a gold after setting a world record in the semis. But you really look stupid if you don't get a medal after doing it. And she got not only a medal, she got the gold. So matched up, talk about domination. Okay, cool. The only way she would look silly is if somebody set a world record on top of her world record. But she's definitely got it. It's crazy. How did Harrison just crash out? It happens in the hurdles. And I really feel for her. So I'm not going to roast her. I really feel for her, but she just is not consistent enough. She is just not consistent enough. Yep. Yeah, this is kind of crazy. It's like she lost her record. I thought she was okay because she seemed to take losing her record in stride, right? She seemed to take that in stride, like, all right, I'm not shook. I looked at her face. Her face seemed like it was okay. Camacho Quinn was the one that was shook. Camacho Quinn looked shook. And I'm like, okay, is the tailwind blowing off Harrison right here? Because when you look at the tailwind, I'm like, is she not used to that? They say at least Toby didn't pull an Asafa Powell. Man, that would be real bad. Yeah, Toby has underperformed in the past. Okay, Kenny Harrison, if you ever listen to this or somebody ever sends snippets or whatever, I really am pulling for you in the future, and I hope that you can get a gold. Hopefully that time hasn't passed. Hopefully you can get Amusan and Camacho Quinn, because the rest of this field is really coming up on you. Nia Ali, unfortunately, her in the prelim round and everything like that, or in the semis, just crashed out. Talk about not being able to defend your championship title. And I thought she looked really good. And then Leah Armstrong, of course, what she's doing. Yeah. Someone said, I thought Kenny would run sub 12:20 in the final as she ran 12:27 in the semi. Yeah, I thought she was ready to like bring it on. Like I said, she ran against the wind. She had technically already ran a sub her world record when you factor in the win right there. So I'm just like, okay, she's looking at this. She's taking it in stride. She did enough to make it through to the next round. She's looking at it like, okay, cool. But she kind of had that salty smile like, okay, congratulations, all right. But she didn't look like she was phased too much. Like, I could see when she's nervous. That didn't, to me, look like she was nervous. Then she comes into the final and then crashes out. He said Quinn had already accepted her fate LOL. I could see it in the heats. Yeah, as soon as she saw that, she just kind of at that point. I think. What is that feeling? You know, like your heart, your throat. It's like your heart is in your throat or something. It gets real dry and it's right there. That's how Camacho Queen looked. I should get a picture with her. But Camacho Queen looked like her whole demeanor completely changed. It's like I saw a whole world record slip through me. She's over here looking like this. She's like, oh my goodness. This is from the Rio thing. But she was kind of like, she was giving this energy as soon as she saw it. I'm like, you don't think you could match that right now? You don't think you can do that? Because it's like last year she went from this. Oh, wait a minute. It's opening up on the wrong computer. Completely wrong. Completely wrong side of the screen. Oh, well. I had her in front of Amusan last year. And then now she's behind. So, yeah. So it went from her in front to her behind in 1 year. I mean, it happens. It happens. But it's like, man, it's like she couldn't get it. She went from that crash out here. But this was the energy she was giving. They said, I felt Camacho Queen was in trouble after Puerto Rico meet. That 100-meter hurdles record is now out of reach for most. She didn't look as confident as she did last year. People are saying, Jasmine said, I say we do not have the capacity. Hey, that's funny. Yeah. They said Nia just had a third child, I believe. Yeah, mind your own. That's correct. She's been popping out babies, and she came back, and she was getting in good shape. She just crashed out, unfortunately. But let's go on to the next event. Let's go on to the next event. I don't want to keep us here too long. I don't want to keep us here too long at all. Did I cover the? Oh yeah, I already did cover the decathlon. Here's the men. Unfortunately, the women, we did not see a world record. Oh my goodness! But this was some interesting stuff. So I'm gonna go over this very quickly. We probably only got a few minutes left. Today is very short tonight. Thank y'all for coming out. Shout out to everybody that supported this channel through either Cash App, Super Chat, or PayPal over the last 10 days. I appreciate everybody here. Thank you for the people that actually did come up and pick up 2 more of those Trackstars NFTs. Definitely anybody else that wants to support, go to trackstars.io. The information is outdated. I will finally have a chance to update the website now that I can catch my breath and do this. I'm going to do the State of the Union for track and field right after these championships. I was going to do it tomorrow, but I'm going to let myself get a couple of days rest and everything. And before I get into these last 2, I had put a Karen in her place yesterday. I felt personally satisfied with my ego. I was at the gym, decided I was going to go on a bike after somebody threw some trash out. I tripped. I don't know, when I was doing a hill workout this weekend, I tripped over it. It reopened and re-injured my bursitis, which was almost fully healed, but then it made me crash my shin, stubbed my big toe on my left foot, and a whole bunch of stuff. My groin got pulled a little bit. It was like it lassoed my foot. I was falling down in a controlled effort. Man, I was running up those hills, but on the way down, of course, I'm jogging as slow as possible, 300 meters up, and the 300-meter jog down, and yeah, I rolled and popped into the street. It was crazy. But after that, I said, you know what? Yesterday, I'm going to go on a bike so I can rehab a little bit. So I was about to have a rehab. I'm in the gym. I'm doing some sprints. Maybe it was about 15 to 20 meters or something of space in between the treadmills. And then this Karen came out. I thought she just didn't see me. I had to pump on the brakes immediately, which, the shock to your body. Any of you sprinters would know that if you have to immediately stop after going full speed or accelerating into it, and it's not a natural float down, you know how that feels on your body. So I had to stop immediately and then go slightly around her. I thought she had got down and wasn't paying attention. Then she goes to the front desk to try to get me kicked out of the gym, and she points like one of them spoiled kids. I kid you not, like, yeah. And she said, did that twice. I'm like, okay, I was gonna let it go through. I was gonna do one more acceleration, and then get on the bike. I did my warm-up routine, which is 20 minutes. And then she's there. She's taking 2 minutes of stretching. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm just not going to do my last acceleration. And then the guy is there. She points to me at least 2 more times. And then the guy finally figures it out. She says, "That beast right there." And I'm just like, wait a minute. She called me a beast? And I just smirked and laughed. And she was like, "That beast right there." I smirked and laughed. The guy, he looked at her like she was crazy. Then he said to me, "It's a health or a safety violation." And then, yeah, it was kind of weird. A safety violation. And then I said, "Yeah, I've been in here doing this for months, doing my strides through here. Nobody's had a problem, not even the manager or the vice president of this specific chain." So I'm just like, okay. He said, okay. I said, "You mind if I do one more? I just got one more." And he turned around. I said, "If you turn around, I'm going to pretend like, you didn't see it or whatever." So I sprinted past her, got on the treadmill right next to her, went 6 minutes a mile. She was going 10 and struggling. Then I went 5:30. Then I went 4:38 and held that for about 2 minutes. It was very satisfying to me because she tried to go down to 9 and she stormed the hell off and out of the gym because she went down to 9. She couldn't hold it, went back up to 10, was almost out of breath. And then when I looked over to her at 4:38 mile pace, now I was starting to red line because I'm not right there right now. I'm completely out of shape for that pace. And then I looked at her and I smiled breathlessly. I was like, "Yeah, it's a hard workout today, isn't it? Good thing it's an easy run for me." And then I looked straight back forward. The machine is just wailing, and I felt accomplished. That's all I got to say with that. I know some people, they're like, huh? I felt personally satisfied all day yesterday. I felt like a champion. And I'm like, okay, today I'm going to pay for it, which I did. So anyway, that was very, very good. That was very, very good for that one. So let's continue back here for the 4x4s. Hey, my opinion said whatever. Okay, that's your opinion. But anyway, United States. Man, look, I got a huge ego myself. I just gotta tell y'all. But when she called me a freaking beast, I'm just like, okay, all right, be ready. But United States with the win, world leading mark, 2 minutes 56.17, world leading for USA. Jamaica, this was actually very good for Jamaica, I gotta say. Mind your own said she probably had to rest for the entire day. Yeah, y'all saying that puts a smile on your face. But yeah, Jamaica, congratulations. United States dominating in the 4x4, very expected. Very good here. Just outside of the world record, and I say just, that wasn't that close, because if it was a world record team right there, that would have blown the bricks out for the USA team right here with Michael Johnson on it. But Jamaica, congratulations in second. Then Belgium, good job holding off for Christopher Taylor. Good job holding off Kevin Borley, because he was right there. He was ready to pass, and he didn't get a chance to pass. Because I really was convinced that Kevin Borley was about to pass Taylor. I was really convinced that that was about to happen. But then he kicked it into another gear and held it on, because he was right there. You see the time. Well, you don't see the times, but it's 12:58.58. Then it was 12:58.72. That's crazy. Then we got, let me see here. It's good to see the Czech Republic, national record 301.63. And then I don't know why this is personal best instead of national record for Botswana. It's very weird. So I'm just going to assume this has to, I don't know why this is a personal best. So I'm going to assume national record for Botswana with a 3:14, because it says PB right here. You guys don't see it on the screen, but I do. Then we got an Asian record, not only a Japanese record, but an Asian record, area record. That's what the AR is. They broke 3 minutes for Japan, 2:59:51. Japan, China, they are starting to come up, and to a lesser extent, but really India. We're going to start seeing India. All these other nations are starting to really, really lower their times, really be competitive. And I don't know about y'all, but I really didn't expect a 4x400 meter relay team from Japan, like, ever. I don't know what's happening. Kumo said, "What do you think will happen first? Both men's and women's 4x4 world record being broken, or Rockstar finally releasing GTA 6?" Man, I look. They don't want to. I think this is gonna be funny. I don't know. That one's hard. GTA 6 probably not gonna be released because they're making so much money. When they made $1 billion off of GTA 5, why would they come up with that when they still keep getting microtransactions and all of these things? So I just like they said, there's no incentive for them to make a GTA 6 because they're still doing well on GTA 5. And that's actually pretty good, actually. I would just do updates and patches and everything like that. Kind of get tired of new games coming out. And it's like, buy this one, buy that one. Just update the one you got. The graphics are good enough, and then there you go. But yeah, I don't know which one's going to come first. I can see the women's world record. I can't see the men right now. But let's go on. Let's move along. They said Isaac McWallah's last race, first man to run sub 44 and sub 19 in the same day. Oh, congratulations to him. Congratulations to the teams as well that set those national records, area records, and everything. But yeah, you know what? I didn't even notice that. That is actually a big deal. I don't know. I don't know if that's his last race, but I'm just going to assume that's his last world championship race. So let me do a shout out to Isaac McWallah because he has been coming through. They have been pointing it out that it might be his last one. If I honor Alison Felix yesterday, as I did, let's honor Isaac McWallah. He's been showing up for Botswana for so long and being at this world-class stage. All these athletes, they will be missed because they really do bring some light to the sport in their respective countries for everybody that is here, even the ones that we may not notice. Like, their countries notice it. Chopra has opened up India to a whole new realm of possibility in track and field. So that's pretty good. The Alpha Man said they need a video game with track and field. There are some. Hey, Ashanti, if you are in the comment section, can you drop the link to that track and field game? I think they got the 400 hurdles, the long jump. It's like something online. But I planned on doing a track and field video game anyway with these NFTs. So the people that support it, they are going to partially be helped for that track and field video game for that budget and everything. But as it stands now, United States with the win. 3:17.79 world leading mark. Jamaica in second. So it seems about the same. United States and Jamaica 1-2 for the men and the women. And then is Great Britain and Northern Ireland. I gotta say, I'm a little bit disappointed. For it not being a world record. Like, they didn't have the people. Here are the splits though. Because Sydney McLaughlin did break 48 seconds. She didn't run quite as quick as I expected her. I kind of half expected her to go about 47 8-ish or 47 high, but I was really hoping for 47 mid. But in this case, it's like, okay, the other athletes, no matter if she would have went a whole 46, if she would have went 46.91, world record still would have been out of reach. She would have just had to, I don't know, run above herself. Unfortunately, we didn't have the team that I think could have done a little bit better. Dalilah Muhammad, but obviously she's still on edge about whether she's 100% fit or not, and she's not. And then we could have had a thing Mo, but unfortunately not. I'm surprised they didn't put Britton Wilson in here. Could they not get her Did they not think to put somebody that ran faster than Abby Steiner in NCAAs on her 4x4 to go into this field or something? Like, were they... Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. They did put Britton Wilson on here. My mistake. I'm thinking of somebody else real quick. But did they not have enough time to rest up Dalilah Muhammad? Because they did put Wilson here. I know some people are going to say she is. I already caught myself in between it. But did they not think to have Muhammad and be like, look, whatever paycheck we gave Allison Felix to come out here to get her here, she probably was like, look, y'all better pay me a few $100,000 and just come back. I said I was done. And she said, yeah, it's whatever Team USA. No, they gave her some good money. Man, y'all should have just did it with Dalilah Muhammad. Like, look, we know you're hurt. We know what happened. But we need you to come out. Can you give us a good run? Can you give us a good run? So I think we needed at least 2 other ladies going 48 to balance out this 50.5. And the first leg is always going to be the slowest, in my opinion, because you're not coming from a running start, and that's kind of sort of the quote longest leg anyway. You're coming from the blocks, so it's an illusion that they ran a little bit slower. But we quite frankly just needed slightly better performances. Abby Steiner, in my opinion, was very tired. She ran at 49.99. We really needed a better leg from that one. Yeah, you definitely should have made the drive out to Oregon. I winded up selling my tickets, and I was going to give away tickets for people that came out to support the NFT earlier. But, hey, it is what it is. We didn't have enough people buy them. And, hey, Vajan the Fly Dude said they were at their breaking point. They weren't breaking it, period. Okay. It said Dalilah ducked out. They pushed Abby harder than fast food. Dang. They say it was already decided Dalilah was not going to run, even if she was not hurt. Yeah. But yeah, congratulations to the ladies. I'm just a little bit disappointed in that personally. I'm not disappointed in their performance at all. Not at all. But I'm just disappointed not seeing a world record there. And here, look, here's another thing. Just like the British announcers already said, this has been the highest medal count ever for any one country. Congratulations to the United States. Let me kind of pat myself on the back for that as a personal thing, as a United States citizen here. So congratulations, 32 medals. Previous one was by East Germany, 31, and everybody was looking at them as drugged up East Germany and all the other stuff back then. So who knows? But it really, we're remiss to say any of that. But as it stands now, United States, and is also the most amount of gold medals of any, like it's the most diverse group of countries to get the most gold medals. So you got not only the most golds for different countries at once in any championship setting, but you also have the highest medal count. Like, wow. But there were some, and I think especially when I saw it in Discord, what do you guys think? Do you think it's an overall disappointment? Because some people said, hey, the USA is disappointing because we did not win the 4x1, and that anybody that accepts, if that's not coming there to win, needs to get off the track. And I technically have that for my own personal life. I'm here to be the best. But you know what? I listened to something that Shelly Ann Fraser-Price said yesterday, especially at her age. She says something about, enjoying the moment. I can be disappointed later. Right now, I'm going to be very happy and not let the United States men losing the 4x1 spoil my mood that the United States men has done something that no other country has done here at this World Championships and got a sweep in 3 different events: 100, 200, and the shot put. I can't allow that personally to allow me as an American to be disappointed in that. I gotta say, I'm very proud of what the United States has done. Now, I said I came in with no expectations, And then I started getting excited for that 4x1, and then it was all taken away at the end. I was like, okay, cool, okay. And then I was like, yes, we could do it. And then Bracy just could not catch the grass. And then I was like, man. But you know what? I'm going to enjoy the moment. I'm getting older. And technically, sports are war. So, on the one hand, I'm not going to be okay with losing a battle. But guess what? If this was a battle and a war, the United States just won the war. We lost a couple battles. We demolished in a couple of ways, but we won the war. So if you look at it like that, then it's the United States winning. But who wanted to represent? Oh yeah, the U.S. messed up with Mondo, the pole vaulter. My high school pole vaulter was jumping 16 against him, and they talked. He really wanted to represent the U.S., but U.S. was not going to pay him. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that because I was part of one of the guys that helped me learn pole vault very well, to coach that very well, was part of the sky jumpers. And I'm sure you know what sky jumpers are, especially out of Illinois. So that's very, 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 very interesting. I remember talking about that. I love seeing the street vaults and everything too. Pole vault is my personal favorite event, and that's something that I'm just like, man, he was gonna be some good representative of the U.S. But hey, and the U.S. most dominant event throughout history is the pole vault. So every time Mondo is getting goals for another nation, is taken away from the dominance the United States has. The U.S. has more wins and more domination in the pole vault than the 200 and the 4x1. I think those are the next two, and then 4x4 is after that. And I think it might be the long jump. But pole vault is by far and away the U.S.'s most dominant event, and people don't know that because they kind of look at some of these and they just look at they look at it and like, oh, the sprints. When people are putting their own personal biases, they don't notice. If you take a step back from them, you're just like, okay, pole vault is more popular than 200-meter dash. It is what it is. That's just how it is. Distance races get more attention depending on where it is. Distance races technically bring in more money than sprinters do in certain areas, specifically with the shoe companies. So, of course, they might pay distance runners less overall as far as contract-wise directly, but they make more money because there's more distance runners as well that they can represent, so the money gets spread out. But yeah, that's just kind of how it is. Mind Your Own said they look at track instead of track and field. Yeah, exactly. They kind of just look at the one thing instead of the overall aspect. That's why I looked at the race walk this year. Normally, I just kind of have walked off or written off race walk, but I actually watched it. I really enjoyed it. I had to announce it when I was announcing for USATF at these youth and junior national meets and some of these collegiate meets and things like that for NCAAs. So if I'm going to, or the NCAA, not NCAA meets doing race walk, but they were hosted at the colleges and also announcing at NCAAs. Let me get that clear, because I have never seen an NCAA meet myself host a race walking competition. I've never been to one that has hosted race walking, but definitely on the colleges. So I mixed up two different things there. I have announced for NCAAs and USATF and AAU. But yeah, definitely when race walk is fast, it's very fun to watch. When it's not, it's like watching something I don't want to watch. But yeah. Another thing I want to say for the people with Elaine Thompson-Herah saying she can't win. At this point, I've covered everything. I really do enjoy y'all coming out. We are really bringing a lot of attention to track and field. Each and every one of you guys that are subscribed to this channel. Even if we have disagreements on certain topics, it's really people like yourself that have come out. You've come out night after night after night. I like to give y'all a clap for just coming out here and really supporting the channel in every way that you can, whether it's likes, whether it's donations, whether it's picking up an NFT, whether it's sharing this, whether it's here commenting in the post-recorded video or in the live. Y'all coming out here and bringing it alive. When I first started this YouTube channel, it literally was like, yo, I talked to my friend. We talk like 2-3 hours a day sometimes on track. And I didn't talk about track at all until I started training back again for myself to try to break 4 minutes in a mile. And so we were doing this for the last few months last year. And I said, look, we can talk to each other. Flowtac is over there messing up. They used to be real good. Now they're really bad. How about we just go online and both of us talk? And then if we get people to listen, there you go. He dragged his feet for 2 or 3 months. I just said, okay. And I just, without telling anybody, did my first video. I think it was on Shelly Ann Fraser Price or the women's 4x1. It was one of those two for Jamaica potentially being able to break the world record. Or Shelly Ann Fraser Price after she ran that 1063. And then from there, the rest is history. I started making it for myself. So I started making it for myself. And I'm like, hey, look, I can see a way to make track and field exciting for me. And remember, this is the early stages for me. This is the early stages, y'all. When this starts to go forward in the future, you're not about to hear my rabbit in the background ripping into this backpack I got her so she could chew on that, so she doesn't chew on my wall. You won't be hearing all of these other sounds, the creaking chairs, the mic as it is. We're going to be upgrading different things, and I hope to have some co-hosts in the future. We're going to be working on that. These are the early stages. So these are the early stages. So, and another thing with Shelly Ann Fraser Price before I forget. So shout out to all of y'all that come out here. Shelly Ann Fraser Price was asked a question yesterday, and it stuck out to me, or the day before. And they asked her, like, hey, how have you gotten over your toe injury? She said she never got over it. She still deals with it. And some days she can't even run. She doesn't have time to basically deal with it, because I think it's going to require surgery at this point, because she's running into the ground, or she just has to completely stop running. And that means she probably was running well into her pregnancy, and then obviously right after. So that means she really just has to run. So she hasn't allowed her toe to heal completely. So she said some days she has to stop running 2 or 3 days. She didn't say how often. But yeah. Oh, so you said you watched the video on DSD. Yep. And then it said, wow, surprised you knew about pole vault. Much kudos to you. Yeah, I helped a pole vaulter to the nationals. Unfortunately, the pole vaulter the year I had coached should have really won a state meet, but I was an assistant coach, and at the state meet, the guy that was helping me with pole vault, where he was learning, because that was my first year doing it, he should have been with the men, but instead he came to the state meet, and then they were like, no, you shouldn't have her. And I'm like, no, she's nervous. I was with her the entire season. That's how I can tell now when athletes are nervous, because I coached a nervous athlete before that has a straight stone cold face, that the body doesn't really shake like that, but she looked pale, and she went from not being on the being there to breaking our school record several times, and really should have got that state title, but really flopped at the state meet after the state champion had went out. And then after that, I started working with other people individually and got them up good. So I have a knack for coaching pole vault, and it's my favorite event, so I ate it up. But yeah, so when people say Elaine Thompson here can never win, or she can't win if she's hurt, or she can win but she's not hurt, I keep telling y'all time and time again, these athletes out there, we don't know who's hurt and about what. I just assume everybody out there is hurt in some way, which means it equalizes it to me in my head unless they're extremely hurt, right? Shelly Ann Fraser Price is still running with that same toe injury she had at Rio. She still comes out and she's putting in the work, where, like she said, some days she has to stop running for 2 or 3 days. I don't know how often it is. Is it once a month? Is it once every 2 months, 6 months, once a year, once every 2 years? I don't know. But whatever it is, she's able to come out and do it. So for the people that keep standing and being like, Elaine is doing this. And another thing, I'm not even coming at Elaine. I'm coming at the people that just can't allow Elaine to just lose, right? Because some people come on the comment section saying, you're trash talking Elaine. I'm like, no, I just listened to her and her coach. And her and her coach in the past, before she was injured, she just said, I'm fine. I wasn't injured. Her coach came out and said, she's fine. She's not injured. Nothing's wrong with her. Just something happened in this final. She basically got nervous. It's like saying Asafa Powell was injured every single time after that one time he got injured. And every time his mind just went, Asafa Powell did Asafa Powell. So, yeah. That's very interesting. You just got to come out there and do it. Look at Dina Asher-Smith. She pulled up and then kept going. I don't know what that was. That was weird. The only thing I can equate it to is when I was at my sectional in high school, and our long and triple jumper, he was on our 4x4 at the end, and he pulled up his calf muscle about at the 300-meter mark on the back straightaway in the 4x4. We were in the lead against our conference rival at the sectional, and he tried to hold on, and we barely got second. And we came in, of course, with the fastest time. We probably were about to break a state record there because our team was getting faster and faster, but then it kind of flooded up. But it was like East St. Louis, obviously, and Cahokia in Illinois. For the people that know those two schools, they usually get it, and they sometimes produce professional long and triple jumpers. But yeah, he kept going. Like, you get the injury, you get Team USA. Didn't one of our runners run with a broken leg in the 4x4 in London or something like that? Or was that Beijing, one of the two Olympics? So it's athletes out here really hurt and injured, and they still come out there to perform as best they can. So not taken away from Elaine, but we just got to stop making excuses for them. Sometimes, like, if it's a big injury, like we just see them pull up, sure. Or if it's something they can't show up for. But if they put themselves on that track right there, they got as fair game as anybody else to win. Dina Asher-Smith pulled up last year and came and helped her team to a British national record. This year, she pulled up, and she just couldn't do it. Mind Your Own said, Elaine said she isn't feeling well. I'm not using that as an excuse, but she did say she wanted to get home and eat soup. Yeah. As long as she lines up, it's fair game as anybody else. But I do agree that, hey, look, she doesn't feel well. So this year, I'll give some credence to it, but I'm not going to make a full-out excuse for her. They said, look like Elaine needs to go back to France. There's no shame in that, for real. You know what? There were people that left. Melaine Walker, remember she left Coach Francis? Then she came back to Coach Francis when her performances didn't add up, right? And then she left again because she said she thought he agreed to just coach her in the 100 hurdles, but instead what he did was like, no, you going back in the 400. So she left. Her performances, her times went up, not down, and her performances went down, times went up, and then he was like, okay, cool, I agree, and then boom, there you go. I don't know anything about the rumors with that. She could be, she might not be. It is what it is. Maybe the difference is also strategy. Running more races means more chance of injury as opposed to picking and choosing, something like that. Said my jumper did not want to stop jumping even though she was hurt. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty hard to stop training even though I'm hurt. I run myself into the ground. So I definitely understand the mindset, especially if you got gold medals on the line. Just imagine yourself as a professional. Yeah. But yeah, they said the Elaine Prego rumor again. I don't know if allowing her husband to coach her was a mistake. This is just one season. Because this is what I said before. Usually the year that the athletes, it goes like this. Either the year after the Olympics, or world records get broken. And as we see, world records upon world records are being broken this year. And it's very interesting. Just look back in the past. For the last 2 decades, it's the year after the Olympics and world records get broken, or it was a very fast year for the Olympics and those specific people, they come back the next year hurt or underperforming. It's either one or the other most of the time. And it's usually, and I'm talking about just the number one athlete, not the number two, whoever got silver or something. It's the people that got gold. So it's either year after Olympics, world records are being set, or year after the Olympics, and that person is hurt or underperforming drastically compared to the year before. Karsten Warholm, Elaine Thompson-Herah. You can go down the list of a couple other athletes that have underperformed this year drastically, or they got hurt. And I'm telling you, just look back over the last 2 decades at the Olympics and World Championships, and you will see that. This is me looking at my stats and everything. So I make sure I try to do as much research as possible into this. But yeah, once again, like I said, I'm going to do the State of the Union for track and field after this. So y'all come in. I don't know what day it is, but I'm going to allow myself to get a couple days. I don't be on Twitter like that, so I'm not going to do it. I might do some Twitter spaces, but if I do, it's going to be talking about building up some things, because I'm trying to get some things done. I'm trying to get some things done, both in the U.S. Obviously, I'm already doing that, and there are people that are more capable than I am. But each one can play our part that's doing it here, and then, of course, international. So let me read these comments before I go. They said, if Elaine goes back, I'm done with her. Snip, snip, say. They said Elaine just lacks fitness. I think Elaine is allowing her husband to coach her is a mistake. By whom? But who am I? Elaine might be pregnant. That's what's being said. I'm reading comments now. I try to read comments in a fake voice. I could read the comments much better than these, but I try to make it clear that this is me reading the comment. Continuing here, reading the comments, they said, Francis, if Elaine goes back, you cannot live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me. That's funny. She is Bree Wayne asked Snip Snip, why done? Did you see how Sharika tore up that 200 meter? She probably need to go back. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is the first year that Coach Francis, or the MVP camp in general, did not get a gold medalist in the 100 meter dash. This is the first year that when they win, okay, this is only counting the years that they win, not the year that Tori Bowie won. But every other year, it's been, ever since Shelly Ann Fraser-Price took that first win, it's been MVP Coach Francis with a win. So either his camp or him directly, they've had a win since 2008. And if Sharika Jackson would have got the win, then it would have been another win yet again for MVP. But man, she ripped up this backpack real good, and she's over here looking satisfied. But yeah, this is the first year. Just note that this is the first year they didn't get it. Let me see. They said Melaine Walker said she agreed to run the 400, and Francis agreed to let her run the 100-meter hurdles. Then switched up, and she left. Yeah. So she said she was going after her happiness and stuff. And in some ways, I can understand that. But it's funny because I'll sound like I'm contradicting myself from earlier. On the one hand, I agree with the Shelly Ann Fraser-Price thing about that, because when you start getting older, I mean, you can either let life stress you out to the point of an aneurysm, or in some people, getting adult diapers before they even turn 40 or in their 40s. Some of these people out here, particularly the ladies, starting to, have an adult urination on yourself. I'm not about to get that stressed out. No way, no how. Not over something petty about, a team representing Team USA not getting a gold medal. Not me. But will I be disappointed in them not getting that? Yeah, sure. For that one particular event. Now, when I look at us overall and what we did in other areas for the U.S., I'm going to be like, dang, who is doing that? Who is doing that? Now we need to see who's doing the relays and what can we improve there. That's what I'm taking away from that. And that's how I'll do for my company, for the people I'm training. Anybody I work with personally, I say, look, you got to be the best and you need to destroy all of them. But if that person can't destroy all of them and you tried your best, and I mean tried, and I got a checklist for these people so that they know that they tried their best. If they can check off all of that and they tried their best, wherever that's at, you just got to be satisfied with that. Like, I'm trying my best until I get killed on the battlefield. And as I'm dying there, I'm going to try to be like, dang, I tried my best. I might regret that I'm dying right now, but I tried my best. At least that's what I would think. They said, whatever happened to the American Track League? The Alpha Man said. No, they didn't fizzle. I don't think they fizzle. I mean, it's the World Championships. The focus is going to be on there. So I think the American Track League still has that. Oh, while I have you guys here, did y'all know, and for the people that are in Canada, did you know that there is a new track and field league in Canada? When I do the State of the Union for track and field, I will be bringing up these smaller track and field leagues. This is fantastic. Let the wars begin as far as different countries making their own track and field league. Y'all that are Jamaican, in Jamaica, or outside of Jamaica and want to be able to do business in Jamaica and you have Jamaican descent, why don't y'all start putting your money together and make a track league there? Don't they have the what's the series called? Something series. I remember Coach Francis was saying that he didn't like that they started to offer money there because he said the athletes that need it won't get it because they're not fast enough. That's the only part he left out, and he's kind of stuttered up there because he was like, because, you know, and the athletes that don't need it, they'll get the money. So he said he liked it where they had 2 meets every year, and that the athletes, what they needed was competition, because the competition will get them to drive and get them to perform well. But he said he would change some things about track and field, because right now, if you don't get a gold medal, it doesn't mean anything. And he would change it up. So I like his thinking, at least on that as well. So he said he's not the money man. He said he let the meet organizers determine that. He just is there to fill up the meets and make sure the athletes get the competition that they need. But I think, I forget the name of that. But definitely, why don't y'all pull y'all money together, register a league, get the lawyers or whatever you need, the insurance that you need. The insurance is a lot cheaper than you think. And then get the facilities, rent them out, and start hosting little small track meets. Record them on some cameras. You can get start small and janky a little bit, and then you get yourself up. People will understand when you're first starting out. You start off really small, because when we start seeing this, or you start pulling your money together. If the Haitians could pull together a whole bunch of money, tens of millions of dollars. What was it, 60 something, or was it 40 something million dollars between each person? $4,000 a pop. If they can do that, then you guys can also put together money, and they did that so that they can escape Haiti and then get to the US. I think that money could have been better used elsewhere. That's me personally, but definitely you guys pull your money together and do that. They said gold for relay is $20K per person in this competition, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, let me look up the prize money. The prize money is $80,000 for the relays, $70,000 individual for gold, and then you split that with the members. Now, if you ran the prelims or the semis and do that, if I'm not mistaken, they got to be paid. So I don't know if it's like, okay, if it's 20,000 and then each one of those people that were in the semis, they only get 5,000, or if it's literally like, for example, it's 15,000 for the four, if it's 4 different ladies in the final, and it's 5,000 for the ones that were in the semis. Does it go a 25% split? But each team probably, balances it out differently, however they are going to do it amongst themselves. But yes, 80,000 for the relays, 70,000 for the individual wins. 100,000 for a world record that's gotten set. So Amusan just got $170,000 pre-taxes for that gold and the world record. Same thing with Sydney McLaughlin, but to her that's like chump change, especially with her contracts and everything like that. She could be like, yo, I'm gonna donate this to God and everything. So as far as that. They said Abby about to be all in promos for USATF. Just wait. Hey, look. Hey, if they want to milk it, go. They can go ahead and try to milk it. The way I look at it is, they said Abby is more deserving, anyways. Than Okay, y'all talking about Sha'Carri Richardson, eh? But yeah, in this case, they said I thought Tori was coming back, but I guess not. All right, y'all. Yeah, Sharika is an MVP. Yes. But American Track League is doing fine. Diamond League is coming up. I'll be covering some of those meets. But y'all, I'm not covering the Commonwealth Games. Y'all have a good night. Peace and much love. Thank y'all for coming out. I'm about done here. Peace. And I'll catch y'all on the next video in some days.